Hello, everyone. I am super excited to be here today with you and the Dog Gurus. The topic we are going to cover today is finding the perfect trainer for your business. So hopefully you are in the right spot and you are ready for this topic. Like I said, I'm really excited to present it. This is me. I'm Amber Burkhalter. Just a little bit about me. I'm the president and founder of Canine Coach. We offer a full dog experience. So we do everything: boarding, day camps, retail, training, grooming. So we do everything here. We also do some seminars. I am also a coach for the Dog Gurus, which is where most of you may have met me. And I recently started a consulting business focusing on people starting training programs in their businesses or starting a new training business. So my focus is specifically on training and training programs. So that is me, just a short Reader's Digest version. So just so you know who I am. Let's get started. So highlights of today, I'm just going to tell you what we're going to cover so that you know where we're going. Number one, what type of training should you offer? What are we looking at for your business? Number two, let's talk about the different types of training and what level of experience is needed for those training, for that type of training. Number three, let's talk about brand representation and trainers. Really important discussion. And number four, we're going to cover job descriptions, posting, and searching for trainers. I want you to walk away from this webinar today fully prepared to put together a package to bring trainers to your company. That is my goal. So let's get to it. All right, let's talk about your current capabilities. So these pictures are showing dogs that are doing some fit paws, agility, and some obedience. So already we know there's variety. But let's talk about what you can do today. What are your space limitations? Are you indoor, outdoor? Do you have a large space like we do where trainers can work whenever they need to, that's inside and air conditioned and protected from the weather? Or are you working in a parking lot? Is it a shared space or an individual space? So the first thing you want to know is, what kind of space do I have to train? And what are my time limits within that space? So sometimes we use our training room for different services like enrichments, and so we don't teach classes then, and they're not really available to trainers then. So we do have a little bit of time limitation to our training room. Most of the time it is open for training, a couple of days a week, half the day we need it for something else. You need to know what your time limitations are. You also need to know what equipment you currently have. So maybe you have equipment in your yards that the dogs are playing on. Maybe you have some agility equipment for enrichment. Look around and see what you already have for equipment. A lot of the equipment in daycare yards can be reused for puppy manners classes. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure you clean them really well. Sometimes dogs like to pee on the equipment in the yards. I'm sure everyone here knows that. But you can reuse that equipment. And anything that you can not have to spend money on to launch this program is good. You want to keep your overhead in the beginning as low as possible. What is your weather situation? So for us in the Deep South, there is no way that you can really teach classes outside from June to about early September during the day. It is extremely hot, and often we have thunderstorms that just come out of nowhere. So we know in the summer that most of our classes are held indoors, or they're held late in the evening if they have to be outside. What do you desire to do as the owner of the business? What do you want to bring in? Are you looking for someone to come in real easily and just teach some puppy socialization? Do you want to hire someone who's a high-level competitor in dog sports, or is that out of your comfort zone? This is a new service. You want to bring something in that you are happy and excited about. You don't have to bring in anything. You get to pick what you're going to bring in. And what is your experience? Do you have experience with training? Do you have experience building training programs? If not, you're going to want to keep it simple. Perhaps you have a lot of experience, and so you're more comfortable in the training ring. Really, you're the only one who can decide what you're comfortable with, but this is what we need to look at first. What do we have right now that we can do? Where are we as the owner of the business? Second thing we're going to do is ask our clients. So I love online surveys. I think they are the best way to get information. I do recommend that you attach an incentive. So we will attach something like a free bag of treats if you bring the survey in, or if you fill the survey out for us, or free nail trim, or 15% off a retail purchase, something to incentivize people, really just because we all get so much information sent to us that without that incentive, sometimes things just go to junk and we never see them. I do like to do it online, and I do like to use SurveyMonkey. And the reason that I'm doing this is I want my clients to tell me what they want. I believe in growing a business organically, which means I don't want to have to hard sell anything. I want my clients to walk in and want already what we are now offering to them, or at least I know that they need it and I know they will want it when it's put in front of them. So I'm going to construct a survey to find out that type of information. This is an example of a survey that we would have sent out, and they are very short. I keep them no more than 5, generally 4, with 3 fill in the blank or multi-choice, and then 1 at the bottom that is a comment so that they can fill it in and tell me what they need to tell me. I always want to give them the opportunity to say whatever it is they need to say. So, are you interested in attending training services at K9 Coach? That would be a yes or no. Are you interested in having your pup trained while he or she is at daycare or while in lodging? What I'm really trying to figure out here is, are they interested in lodge and learns? Or are they interested in daycare training? Third, what classes are they interested in? So this gives them the opportunity to go, oh, yeah, I would love to have puppy manners, or yes, I need family dog training. It just puts some options in front of them. And what I'm trying to decide is, what are they most interested in? What is the most response that I get from them? So if I get 1 person who's interested in urban canine, but 50 who are interested in puppy manners, that gives me a lot of information on moving forward. And fourth, I'm always going to say, is there anything you would like to share with us? You can get some really great information on number 4. So yeah, put it out there. So now, and make sure you add that incentive so your clients will respond to it. Typically what we say is, hey, just print this out and bring it in and we'll give you X. Again, a free bag of treats, a discount, whatever we've decided we can do. You want to be cautious about giving away things free. They should not have a big overhead attached to them, okay? You don't want to lose money on this. So, all right, now that we have the survey and we know what you want to do, we're going to start with really the top 3 ways that you're going to bring training into your facility. So number 1 is classes, and this is a picture of one of our classes. This is Urban Canine. It was before, obviously, COVID, so everyone's out at the park, not social distancing and not wearing a mask, but this was one of our classes. So we teach classes here and we teach them out and about in the world. I like classes because they are a very low entry point. And so most people know that they need to go to a class with their dog for training. Most people. The cost is low. It is really culturally accepted for people to do this, so you don't have to hard sell them on it. It's a low-level commitment, 1 hour, once a week for 6 weeks, and they can be a lot of fun. So classes don't have to be real serious. You can make them fun. Puppy classes can be a lot of fun, and people really enjoy them. Also gets the puppy tired, so mom and dad can have a little bit of an easier day with a young dog. You do lots of varieties, so many options, online, offline, etc. It does take a high level of experience and space. So space, if you're doing a puppy manners class, you need a fair amount of space in order for the puppies to move around and be safe, and the owners. Second is the experience. And so in order for you to have classes like this, where you have multiple, what we can assume are green dog owners or green handlers in the same space, you need to be, or your trainer has got to be able to really manage that space and manage those people. And that is a skill that you learn over a period of time teaching. So this is not, you would not want to take a trainer that you hire that is a very new trainer with very little class experience and send them out into the world with a class like this. You could have some pretty serious issues. So that's where we are with classes. Private lessons. This is one of our newest trainers, one of our youngest, it is our youngest trainer actually, doing private lessons here in the facility. I do like private lessons. There's a lot of variety. You can do them at home. You can do them in your facility. There's a range of training that you can do. Obviously, anything that a dog would need to be trained on or want to be trained on, you can do individually. I like it because you can add it as a part of your daycare, and again, it will increase your ticket. So instead of the owner spending $35 a day on daycare, for us, they have now spent $65 a day. So it just increases your ticket, and it's good for the dogs. It's so good for them to get some extra work while they're at daycare. You have lots of control over private lessons. This is a place where a younger trainer can start as long as you are controlling the type of client they're working with, they can start pretty quickly. As long as they have the skills to train a dog, they can start day trains from day one. We're going to talk a little bit about insurance at the end, 1099 versus W-2, but you do want to make sure that if you have a 1099 trainer, they have insurance, particularly with private lessons, because if someone's going into someone's home, you want to be protected. Now we're going to talk about Lodge and Learn. So Lodge and Learns are one of our biggest sellers. People love it. It is a great add-on service. So you're going away on vacation for a week or so, and you want the dog to get some training while you're gone. Everybody wins. We went from a $50 a night ticket to a $115 a night ticket. So the price obviously jumped. I mean, you definitely have another piece of overhead to it because you have to pay your trainer. However, in the end, it does increase your ticket time or your ticket cost. It's a great add-on service. It requires a commitment to curriculum or goals. So if a owner drops off a dog and says, I want you to work on sit stay, down stay, off leash recall for the next 2 weeks, I expect to be to this point when I pick this dog up, your trainer has to be able to meet those goals. That is a lot of pressure for younger trainers. They sometimes don't handle that very well. So this may be a trainer that needs or has a lot of experience, or you just control what they work on. You can either control the trainer or control the curriculum, but you have to have one or the other. You get lots of control. Obviously, when the dog is worked is usually the best time for the dog. You can control the environment until they really have a good grasp of the concept you're training them, and then you can gradually increase it. There's lots of control that increases your success here. You can spread it out, or you can just do one training only. We have clients who will come in for 3 days, and they just want us to work on jumping. And that's fine. We can do that. But you need to plan for the back end piece. So the go home is very important. We have a whole system that we have built for the back end piece, but I would encourage you to build that for yourself as well. You do not simply want to hand a dog over to an owner and say good luck. They will likely not be able to get the dog to behave for them the way that you can because you have been training the dog. They will likely get frustrated and they will likely want their money back. You want to avoid all of that. So make sure you have a go-home plan. Let's talk about the style of training. Your team members who perform any service for your company are always representing your brand, and you need them to represent your brand in the way that you want it represented. You need to decide which style of dog training best represents your brand, and this is going to help you identify the best trainer for your business. I'm going to talk real briefly about methodology, and before we even talk about it, I want to say I am making some very wide sweeping statements. Certainly, we do not have the time to dive into the complexities of training methodologies today. We could have conversations for months about that. I am making some wide sweeping statements just to educate those of you that may not understand there are different methodologies approaching and that trainers have different approach to things. I in no way am judging anyone who trains in any way. This is simply information. So let's get to it. Methodology of trainers. Positive reinforcement theory is the first one that I'm going to talk about. Generally, this is clicker trainers, food reward trainers. I am a positive reinforcement trainer. All of our staff are positive reinforcement trainers. We do not use any punishment in our training, no choke chains, no pinch collars, no e-collars, nothing like that. We believe that any behavior that is rewarded will repeat itself. If you reward a dog for sitting, they will do it every time. If you reward a dog for waiting at the door, they will do it every time. This is not to say that we don't ever use punishment, but we do not use physical correction. So we would do something like withhold the treat until the dog sits. We do use Lima. For those of you that are not familiar with Lima, Lima is the least invasive method applicable to dog trainers. So that means you start with a puppy, let's say, with the very simplest form of training. And if you are having difficulty with the dog grasping the concept, you would increase your training in difficulty, particularly if you're trying to really make a behavior fluid. You will increase the difficulty with holding rewards until you get what the dog needs to do, controlling the environment so the dog can do what you need him to do. Trainers that are dominance theory trainers also follow the Lima. However, they believe in the dominance or alpha model, and they will use physical correction for incorrect choices, which is the key difference between them and a positive reinforcement trainer. Technique can vary here. Different trainers do different things. You also have balance trainers. They will have a foot in both camps. They will usually follow the Lima approach as well, but they will use physical correction as needed. So for example, for our brand, the only type of training that we will have is positive reinforcement training. There are a lot of reasons that I made that decision. Some of them are based on my own training and how I train in my experience over the past 30 years. And some of them are also based on the best decision for a business. So you need to really think about the type of trainer that you want representing your brand. That is important, okay? All right, so let's talk about employment arrangements, because this is super important too. So you have different kinds of employees. Right now we're going to talk about a W-2 employee. This is one of my employees who works for me. He is a W-2 employee. What that means is he is full or a part-time employee, and he has a published schedule that he has to show up for. He has the same benefits as all my other employees, paid time off, sick leave, that type of thing. Normally, they have a uniform, and you will provide all of their needed equipment. So if you hire an agility instructor as an employee, you will provide agility equipment for them. They are covered under your workers' compensation insurance, and you will pay appropriate taxes on their wages. The next one we're going to talk about is what's called a 1099 employee or a contract employee. This is Catherine. She is one of my contract employees. She is specifically a nose work employee, so she teaches only nose work classes for us with her dog Greta. She and Greta are big competitors in nose work. She works for us but also has her own business and works for a couple of other companies. Contract employees do not have a set schedule. They set their schedule. You are not required to provide them with a uniform, and they provide their own equipment. Importantly, they are not covered under our workers' comp, and we do not pay taxes on their wages. Now, in the state of Georgia and in the county in which we operate, if you are a 1099, you are required by law to carry an insurance policy. So when I submit her forms to the IRS at the end of the year or the end of the tax season, I have to also submit to the county an insurance certificate that she is covered under her own insurance. Thirdly, guest instructors. This is one that I really like. You can do this in different ways. So this is a picture of a seminar that I hosted with a couple of other businesses, a weekend training event. It allowed us to come together and serve a bunch of different clients at the same time. It was a B2B arrangement, so we just split the profits. Another way that you can do it is you can hire someone as a guest instructor as a 1099 just to see if you think they're going to work out. So let's say I could say to Catherine, I'm going to have you come on for 3 months. And then at the end of that 90 days, we're going to review and see if it's a good fit. And if so, I'll offer you a position. That way, if it doesn't work out and they don't stay on after 90 days, it's no big deal for them to go. They were just a guest instructor. I like to do this with trainers. It can really keep things just easy. And sometimes we just do it because people really only want to do a short period of time with one thing and then they move on. So these are generally the 3 ways that you're going to bring a trainer into your company. You'll need to discuss what is right with your accountant. Make sure you're protecting yourself from any tax implications. All right, let's start searching. I'm excited. Okay, so we got to write our job description first. Now, some of you may be like, why do I have to have a job description? Because I'm hiring someone for a job, and I need to make sure that whatever I put out is reflected in the job that I'm actually hiring someone to do. So number 1, what exactly do you want? What type of trainer are you hiring? Are you hiring someone just to teach classes for you? Are they going to teach privates, lodge and learns? Is it a full-time? You need to know all of that on the front end. When are they going to start? What days and times should they be prepared to work? Do you need them to work Fridays and Saturday evenings? Do you need them there Monday through Friday for day camp? Third, what level of experience do you want? Do you want someone who's had 2 or 3 years teaching classes already before they come to you? Do you want someone who's certified? What are you looking for? So be real specific. I always say unclear is unkind. Are you willing to train them internally, or do you need someone with experience? And if so, how much experience and what type? What is your employment arrangement? So you can say we're looking for a contract employee. You can say employee or you can say guest instructor. You just want to know this on the front end. Is it a short-term or a long-term arrangement? And is it training only or a combo position? So we have enrichment trainers here who also work other jobs like kennel managing or day camp. Is that what you're looking for, or are you looking for someone who specifically wants to train? I will tell you that trainers in general are not super excited about doing other jobs. They're like groomers, artists, and they're committed to what it is that they do. And there is a lot of talent that goes into training dogs, a lot of skill, and trainers generally are not interested in also working in day camp or working the front desk. They just want to train dogs. We have had very little success having people do full-time training as well as kennel work. It's just not something they're typically interested in. Now, pro tip before you post, review what others are posting. So if I go into Indeed, let's say, I'm going to put in dog trainer as a search, like I'm looking for a job, and I'm going to look at what everyone else is posting. And I want to make my post different. I want it to stand out. So whatever the starting opening line is, I want you to do something different. For example, for us, we don't talk about the job. We talk about the company. We talk about who we are, who our team is, and who we want to have on our team. We usually get a pretty good response from our postings. And I think it's because we do something different than everyone else. People often say to me, I've tried Indeed, it doesn't work. It does work. You just need to try it a little differently. I want you to avoid negatives. When I was getting ready for this webinar, I was really surprised to go online and see that there was an actual advertisement that said, we do not have time to train you. So basically, do not waste our time. If you are not ready to train dogs today, do not bother us. And it was really off-putting. The way it came across was that other people have wasted our time and we're not interested in that. We need somebody who can come in here and get right to work. I would not have followed up on that position just because it was so negative, and I would wonder what else is going on behind the scenes. So just avoid negatives. Be clear with the next steps. So if someone is interested in the position, what is the best way to apply? Do they send a resume? Do they come in person? For us, if we're looking for someone to work in the back of house or front of house, we will ask them to come in Monday through Friday, actually Monday through Thursday, from 11 to 2. We want to see if they show up. We want to see how they show up. There are things that we're looking for in the beginning. From a trainer, I always ask for a resume and 3 personal references. And I call all the people on the resume and I call all the personal references. I follow that with a phone conversation, and there are other steps. I do it a little different with trainers because it's a bigger responsibility in our company. Those are some of the pro tips I have for you. So we're going to talk about posting versus searching for a trainer, okay? So at this point, what kind of trainer you need, what services they're going to offer, what you're comfortable with them offering. You probably know your employment arrangement, how much experience they need, and what your clients want. You have a lot of information to go out looking for the exact right person for your business. Now, how do you do it? Posting versus searching is I'm posting online to different search engines. For us, that's going to be Indeed, Craigslist, etc. Searching is when I'm going out and searching for a trainer through contacts. And I will explain them and then I will show them to you. So posting versus searching. Posting for us is going to be Indeed, Craigslist, and Facebook pages. Searching for a trainer, I'm going to go through professional organizations, the APDT, CPDT, the IAABC. So APDT is the Association for Professional Dog Trainers. The CCPDT is the Certifying Council for Professional Dog Trainers. They are the only organization currently that has an independent test. Oh, actually, that's not true. PAC does now as well. I apologize, but not for trainers. It's for pet care. But CCPDT has an independent test that trainers can take to pass to make sure they have a base knowledge of dog training, which I think is very important. The IAABC is the International Association for Animal Behavioral Consultants. That's trainers or behavioral consultants that are going to work specifically with behavior problems. So if you are wanting to offer separation anxiety help or reactivity help to your clients, that's where you would go. Searching also includes our current clients and our current employees. This is the difference. Posting is me putting information out there. Searching is me putting information out there, but in a different way and reaching out to people in a different way. This is very wide sweeping. Anybody who's out there looking for a job versus very direct. So with Indeed, what I really like about Indeed is it is easy to post. It is, you can sponsor them, which you should always do to put yourself at the top. So if you sponsor it as well as make your posting different from everyone else's, you're going to get a lot better response. It is clean and easy to search. And you can also work with them to build in background checks, etc. They have a whole back-end piece that they will offer that you can explore with them if you want to do that. And their filters are pretty good. So you can filter out applicants, and applicants can filter out where they want to apply. If we are posting it to Craigslist, most people roll their eyes when I say Craigslist. I will say that we have done pretty well on Craigslist in all areas. Again, it just comes back to how are you posting? They are so easy to post on, and it is really low cost. I like that you can actually post the entire job description right there, and it is more targeted. So it uses only a zip code, which I think is good for employers and employees. So we would definitely recommend that you try Craigslist. And then Facebook. So Facebook is a large network of people. You are really putting it out there. I like Facebook because you can do private or group pages. So for example, if I am looking for a nosework instructor, I would go into Facebook, into nosework groups, and start posting. Hi, I'm Amber Burkhalter. Some of you know me. We need a new nosework instructor. Is anybody looking to pick up some extra classes, or do you know anyone who may be looking for something? So that's the difference, right? Posting it, but I'm also searching. The cool thing about Facebook is it spreads really fast, and you can get some really good referrals. It's really easy. You post something, and people are like, oh, that's cool, and they'll share it to a friend and then share it somewhere else. It's pretty neat. Now, Facebook is a less professional approach. I will agree. Some people have pointed out to me, but I think the environment that we are operating in right now is just a little easier. It's a little more casual. People are working from home more. For goodness sake, a lot of the soups places are going out of business because people just aren't going into the office. And I think you need to operate with the environment that you are in, and continuing to do something that doesn't work when something else does work is just craziness. We've done really well with Facebook. We've actually done really well with all of them, and Instagram. I did not put Instagram in here just because I think you can do a whole class on that alone, but you could also explore some Instagram postings. If you want to see what we've posted, you're welcome to check out my company Instagram, which is K9 Coach Atlanta on Instagram as well as Facebook, and you'll see some of those postings. So searching professional organizations, I think this is probably the most efficient way to find a new trainer. You can do a whole lot of different things, but I really like doing it this way. If I'm going to go to APDT, very, very easy to search their website. Their website is really clean, really up to date. That is their webpage, apdt.com. You can search by zip code, and then it will pull up all the trainers in that area. So if I put in my company zip code, it's going to pull up all the trainers within a certain radius of my building, and I can contact those people directly by phone or by email. And then I can say, hey, I have this space in my company. I'm looking for someone to fill it. Would you be interested in working with us? You can also do that with CCPDT. Again, very easy to search. You can contact the results directly, search by zip code. Again, these are certified trainers. So these are folks who've taken the time to go through, learn some base knowledge of dog training before they take the test. It does not tell you anything about their methodology. It just tells you that they've taken the test. And then again, the IAABC, same thing. Really clean, really easy, search by zip code. But you can get into contact very quickly with a lot of trainers in your area. Maybe they want to come on full time. Maybe they just want to supplement their income. You can certainly drop contracts to protect both parties as long as everyone is on the same page. This can be really efficient and quick. Particularly, you may get some trainers who have a lot of experience and they are just looking for somewhere to teach, especially if you have an indoor facility, an air-conditioned facility. They win by getting access to your clients, and you win by giving your clients access to a trainer in the same location where they go to daycare. So everybody wins. Those are typically 1099 arrangements. I would highly recommend when you start looking for a trainer that you start here. This is where I would start. Then you're going to talk to current clients. So Current clients. Are you currently training? So if I was currently looking for a trainer and I was taking competition obedience classes, I would pay attention to the people in that class and the person teaching and see if maybe they are anyone who would be interested in training. Also, when you send out your survey, we have had clients say, oh yeah, I used to be a puppy trainer. I used to be a competition obedience trainer, handling trainer, lots of different things. And so you can actually tap some of your clients. I am not a big fan of hiring clients to work in our company, but trainers are a little bit different because I'm only hiring for a very, very specific area where they are going to stay and they're going to operate in that area. But make sure you look at your clients. Is anyone training long term? Maybe they're not a professional trainer, but they're really good. And you can really tap that resource very quickly and easily, and maybe even just short term. Maybe they are working from home during COVID and they'd really like to do something else during this time, and you can bring them in to do something for you. Or is there anyone who's competing? So if you have clients who compete in different sports or compete in different activities, those are folks that can usually teach a foundation class for you. Again, you need to make sure that you have discussion with them around teaching classes and the experience they have with lots of people and lots of dogs. You can limit the number of clients that you have in a newbie trainer's class. That is a high recommendation. Certainly don't want someone to teach their first class with 15 dogs by themselves. That's just too much. It's just too much. So next, we're going to search our employees. Remember, people went to work for your facility because they like dogs. And giving them the opportunity to work with dogs in a different way, maybe not just cleaning kennels or not just handling vaccinations or a little bit more than enrichment, your employees may be very excited for that opportunity. So let's talk to them. Is there anyone who works for you that is interested in a niche? So maybe they are really interested in helping nervous dogs get better. Maybe they are really interested in how scent games can help improve a dog's confidence. Go and have conversation with them. You can usually get employees who are interested in at least teaching puppy or family manners classes. Again, is anyone training long-term somewhere else? We have an employee here who does something that we don't offer. She's a fantastic Frisbee instructor. We don't have the space for Frisbee instruction, but that's just an example of somebody doing something else that we're not offering. So we refer anybody who's interested to Frisbee to her. And you can offer to mentor this person. You can offer to certify them or train them. And it really just depends on what your experience is. If you have someone that you want to only teach the AKC's new program, the FitPaws program, I can't remember the name of it right now, you can get them certified in that pretty quickly, and then they can offer that to your clients. So you're going to need to make an investment in your people to do that. But remember, investing in your people is the best way to grow your business. It is hands down the best way to grow your business. If you have experience training, you could certainly mentor, or if you have another trainer who has got experience, they can mentor. New trainers that come to us very much get the benefit from some of our long-term trainers, mentoring them real casually, but it really benefits them to be around us. I always mentor our newest trainers for the first few months just to make sure they are getting on board and everything is going like they thought it would. So there are options here. If you can mentor them, or you can train them, or you can pay to have them certified in a different way. And lots of options in regards to certifications, of course. Real quick, once you find a trainer and you're ready to interview them, I want you to remember this is someone who will be in charge of animal care alone with very little oversight. So if you hire a trainer who's doing private lessons, they're generally alone with the dog, maybe with an owner. Lodge and Learn, same thing. You want to have a lot of confidence and trust in this person that they're going to have good judgment and make good decisions. I really recommend that you check references from former clients and you do a thorough background check. It's worth the money on the front end. You interview them. So what we do is I have someone send in a resume. I check all the references. Then I interview them alone on the phone. Then I have them come in and I interview them face-to-face with a couple of team members. Then I have them come in and work with a dog. You can learn a lot about how someone trains and how they handle pressure and stress watching them work with their own dog in front of a group of people. And that's really what you want to know. Can this person train? First of all, do they have a well-behaved dog? And secondly, how do they handle the pressure of everyone staring at them and everyone watching them? Lodge and learn is a lot of pressure. Sometimes dogs don't want to do what you want them to do. And so I have heard stories about trainers just getting desperate and doing some things that are not okay. So you want to really know this person really well before you just turn your clients' dogs over to them, because your clients are trusting you to keep their dogs safe. Also, I do working class interviews. So I want to see how you work with clients in a group environment. How do you manage that reactive dog in the corner, or that client that keeps interrupting and asking different questions and taking the class off path? I need to see how you handle all of those things. So even after someone is hired, I will come in and watch them teach classes. I still do it as a metric for all my trainers on and off, just to make sure everyone is doing it the way that we need to be doing it, and make sure that I think my clients are getting the absolute best. And definitely we can have another webinar, or we'll have another webinar in regards to how to manage them, but you need to have very specific metrics for trainers. What you do not want to happen is that either the trainer cannot complete the job, or they make some decision that you cannot support, and you are now having to answer questions for this person that you connected to your clients. It can be damaging to your brand. It can be damaging to your company in lots of different ways, and obviously it's very upsetting as a business owner, particularly someone in the pet industry. We always want to give the very best to these dogs and to our clients. And so I cannot impress upon you enough that once you get through the interview process, really do a thorough background check, really check in with this trainer, be very clear on what is okay and what is not okay. I am very clear. I just say right out of the gun, we do not use any pinch collars. We do not use any choke chains. We do not use e-collars. If you can't train without those materials, we cannot work together. No offense. It's just something that I'm not comfortable with. One of the reasons that I am not comfortable with it is because dogs can get hurt with that equipment accidentally, and dogs can, I really don't know a story of a dog getting hurt from a treat. So it's also about protecting the liability of this company, and because I believe that you can train dogs without that sort of punitive training. So you just need to think about what this person is going to represent, and particularly in this time of video, because anything that happens can be on video somewhere. And so we want to avoid anything that we would be unhappy about. So that is the end. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this, and I hope you got what I think you're going to get out of it. Again, so much thankfulness of being allowed to present today. The Dog Gurus are fantastic for having me here today. My website is here. Again, I will be sending out a PDF of this. If you would like a copy of it, just shoot me an email, amber@me.com, and we will get you on the private list for some upcoming events, a masterclass that we are launching in the fall of 2020, and early access to some product launches for 2021.